Thanks, Tyler, and thank you for tuning in to the Amherst Weekly Report. Hello and welcome to the Amherst Weekly Report from Amherst Media. I'm Ariana Gonzalez. Calling all residents, Paul Buckelman, Amherst Town Manager, is looking to recruit volunteers for various town boards, committees, and commissions. The town wants a diverse group of qualified individuals with applicable expertise and experience to fill board vacancies. Residents can participate on over 30 boards, including the Amherst Affordable Housing Trust, the Community Safety and Social Justice Committee, and the Human Rights Commission. A typical term of service for all committees is about 3 years, with members serving an average of 2 terms. The town has posted an article on their government website with more details about the positions, as well as an online application form. These positions aid in the town's smooth operation by supporting the town government's work. The University of Massachusetts Amherst announced that 900 students who are currently housing on campus will be left without housing for the upcoming academic year. The response has been rampant among students that have protested the lack of availability for on-campus housing. I spoke to students last Thursday that were planning to protest by camping out in front of the UMass library.
We're living through right now a manufactured housing crisis because of overadmittance of students, because of not building enough on-campus housing, and because of the outsourcing of housing to public-private partnerships that are unaffordable for students going to UMass.
I came to college expecting to be able to live at college. That's a pretty normal thing, to be able to expect to have a dorm at your university that you go to, and then for guaranteed housing to be then taken away from us is really just doesn't compute.
I personally did not get housing for the second year in a row. Last time it was pure luck that I managed to get a campus housing. So I'm being forced to get off campus, it is what it is.
Campus has allowed an influx of people to come onto this campus without really considering the consequences for what that would be for everyone here, as well as allowed many residential buildings to be in disrepair for a long time that already exist.
What I hope to do is not only protest and talk about all the problems that we've experienced with housing and probably will experience in the coming year, but just make this protest a social event that attracts people who wouldn't normally be attracted otherwise, to just have fun. I mean, I brought a volleyball here to just play around, not necessarily to even talk about the housing crisis specifically, but we want it to be a social gathering, and we want it to be appealing to talk about what people are struggling with.
It's a fun event, lots of people, but also the issue of housing on campus has become outrageous over the past couple of years. I've heard numbers as high as 107% housed on campus. So we're well past capacity. And will the admin really care about this? People camping out, maybe, but really it's to get people together and get them aware about this issue and how messed up it is. I personally have had very, very few choices for housing, and next year I will not be living on campus at all. It's really bad out here for a lot of people. I personally know several people who do not have housing on campus, despite being enrolled for next year. So the admin is deeply mishandling the situation, and they need to address it as soon as possible.
Well, I hope that the fact that we're not having it is very clear. The fact that you can't just push the right buttons and tug on the right strings and make money come out of your students, I hope that that's very clear. And really what we want is transparency and active collaboration from the university. A lot of the energy around demonstrations that have happened recently on campus, not just this one, has been about democratizing the university. So, a lot of the financial resources that UMass has, the financial resources that it has at its disposal that affect students and staff and faculty are governed by a board of trustees that is not elected. It's appointed by the governor. And frankly, we don't feel well represented. If we go to this university and we are supposedly living in a well-functioning democracy, and and yet we don't have any say in the way that our university spends its resources.
Well, we hope especially after seeing a number of people sleep out here literally in tents to signify what this housing crisis will mean for people, and continuing to protest tomorrow, we want the university, we want to let them know that we're not just going to stand by and not have housing for next year, because as Noah said, that feels something pretty fundamental for going to college, and we want to send that message by committing, staying out here, and bothering them until they do something about it.
The university is looking to help students find off-campus housing through their off-campus student life resources by holding a mixer for off-campus students to meet future potential roommates on April 19th. For off-campus housing, affordable housing developments are becoming available in the Amherst area. East Gables is a newly built apartment studio complex that released applications for affordable housing in Amherst. The housing development is located off of Amherst Center and 132 Northampton Road. The studio apartments have 28 new studios available for residents with a low income. Information sessions for East Gables will be held at the Jones Library on Wednesday, May 10th and Saturday, May 20th in the afternoon. In other news, last Wednesday, cops off campus at UMass Amherst met for their weekly meeting. They took this time to reflect on the April 5th UMPD protest, where 100 students gathered outside of the Whitmore Administration Building protesting UMPD. These organizing efforts come in response to a long history of violence taken against students of color and low-income students. Organizer Sabrina Lacayo reports intense policing on the southwest area of UMass's campus, where many residential communities house Black and Latina students. The protest is a reaction to recent developments across Massachusetts state schools. This includes UMass Dartmouth's neglect to cooperate with the investigation of campus police officer David Lawton, who is accused of sexually assaulting a student, as well as the death of 20-year-old Arif Sayed Faisal at UMass Boston by Cambridge police, who were responding to his mental health crisis. Closer to home, cops off campus is motivated by the ill treatment of a 21-year-old student at UMass Amherst. The student was arrested for walking across the street during construction. They were charged with assault and battery of a police officer and disorderly conduct. Concerns for the student's treatment prompted UMass to investigate the situation with Margot Healy and Associates Consulting. Yet this investigation yielded no results, as a firm founded by two police officers organizers believe in pro-police bias. The felony charge is impactful to the student's life as it scars their record. Cops Off Campus demands that UMass reevaluate the student's case and reject the findings of Margot Healy among their demands to prevent future harm. They order that the university administration completely removes all police presence from campus, including UMPD, student cadets, state police, local police, and militarized private security. Instead, reallocating these funds to support transformative justice practice, civilian response, and physical and mental health resources, as Sabrina Lacayo asserted. Safety means not having police, period. What kids need is not a police officer in their face or someone arresting them. Yet, as organizer Sabrina Lacayo said, the police aren't just the armed police on campus. Students are being forced to report on each other. It's pervasive in our learning spaces and living environments. At a time when compounding crises such as policing and housing at UMass go hand in hand, students activists on campus are in coalition, fighting for vision of safety and care for all students and faculty. Now to Emily Taranelli with the Sports Report.
Thanks, Ariana. On Saturday, April 8th, Amherst women's lacrosse was defeated by just 1 point in a nail-biting matchup against Colby College. Despite coming back from a 6-point deficit and pushing the game into overtime, the final score was 13-12 in Colby's favor. Just 2 minutes into the game, Colby was first on the board and carried the momentum to a streak of 5 goals in a row. At the end of the quarter, first-year Sophia Gutman assisted teammate Bridget Finley to score Amherst's first goal. Colby scored 2 more points in the second quarter before Amherst first-year Clara Souza and Gutman matched them with 2 goals of their own. The third quarter opened with a goal by Amherst first-year Morgan Lebec, leading to a series of quick exchanges between Amherst and Colby, with the Mammoths outscoring the Mules by 2 points. Amherst continued to rally ahead in the fourth quarter as they scored 5 more points to tie Colby at 12 points overall. Even so, forcing the game into overtime wasn't enough to prevail. Colby scored the winning point, lifting the Mules to an 8-3 season record, while the Mammoths dropped to a 7-3 record overall. The Mammoths will hit the road to face off against Middlebury College on Saturday, April 22nd. Back to you, Ariana.
That's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Amherst Weekly Report. I'm Ariana Gonzalez, and we will see you at the same time next week.